Okay, so we've got no chance of me filming with my big lights on today because it's hot. Let there be light. Please. Hey, can we go with that? Yeah, I think that's alright. Today's video is going to be quite a low tone one anyway because of the nature of the subject. So the lighting kind of reflects that, doesn't it? In fact, we can make it reflect it even more. Let's take it down a notch. Why do I sound so evil? It's just technology. Back up though. Many of you will be aware that I am currently doing the autism show. I learnt quite a big lesson in Birmingham. Yeah, so I decided to do 2 days in a convention hall, which isn't good for anyone. I don't know why I thought it would be a good idea to do the talk at 3:30 on the Saturday, the last thing of the entire weekend. I was loving the day. I was seeing so many friends, met so many of you lot. If you met me, please say hello in the comments. As my talk started to approach, I went over to the hub and there were empty seats. And I know that this is something that sounds a bit silly, but I panicked at the empty seats. It was 3:30. Most people just go home by 3:30. It's no big deal, really. I'd been used to having these big audiences, and then when it wasn't a big audience, I was like, oh, it was still pretty big. Me seeing empty seats gave me like this pain in my stomach, and I didn't really understand it. It wasn't like a bowel pain. I wasn't going to poo myself. So I went over to someone who works with the National Autistic Society, and she said it's probably nerves or anxiety. And we get to the talk. I just put out a little disclaimer at the beginning before I begin, like, look, I've been in a convention hall for 2 days. I'm exhausted. My social ability is like running out. And as it begun, I started talking, and my hearing just went, nah. I could hear everything, like cars outside of the convention hall. Everything was coming at me all at once, and I was like, oh great. Right, so I was just like, right, earplugs in. And then at this point I had 2 choices. I kind of figured out what was coming at this point. All these emotions I was having, plus the hypersensitivity, I was like, oh, meltdown, it's coming. So I think through my options. I'm like, well, I can have a meltdown in front of everyone. Don't really want to do that. I could run away, or I could just try and like laugh it out. So naturally, me being me, I thought, I can style this out. It took so much energy to push this meltdown that was coming. I kept stumbling at some points, and I was like, and I kept justifying like, oh, sorry, I really am exhausted. But I felt like the entire way through the talk, like, oh my god, you need to get out of here. You need to get out of here. And the talk was 20 minutes, so it's not just a little bit to hold into. You know, I just thought, right, okay, I know what I'm speaking about. I have kind of a rough script in my head. I'll just do that. I even managed some ad-libs, which I thought was quite impressive. But I'd never been in such a pressured situation where at the same time I'd been delivering. Yes, it wasn't my best. It wasn't my like usual But I go through the talk and I get to the end and I just look over to an NAS person like, and I just said, I need to get out. All the people from the National Autistic Society that were there were great. They kind of formed like a barrier around me. Of course, people naturally did want to speak to me, but I was there like trying to give short answers like, yes, thank you. So then as soon as that was over, ran to the loo, walked in and there was purple lights and was kind of like, whoa. What I did, I changed my t-shirt. I thought, I'm wearing like my cool, 2 seconds. I was wearing my cool like Primark Hawaiian shirt. Why do I need to put this on? Yeah, I could have just explained it. I was wearing this, and then of course, now I'm about to explain me taking it off. I really should have just explained it. That was a bit of too much effort. Changed my t-shirt and I felt a bit fresher. I still didn't feel like good. But then it was when I went to bed where the problems came. I had the biggest meltdown I've had in ages. I'm not normally one for physicalness. I tend to have like cry meltdowns, maybe a bit of like leg slapping. But I was full on kicking my wall, slamming my head against the pillow. It wasn't nice. It really wasn't. And I'd not had that in a long while. I like to just kind of say like my meltdowns are like, oh yeah, they're fairly controlled, but no, that's the reality of it. That's how bad it can get sometimes for me. Can't really remember it apart from like, I know this from the pain on my foot from kicking a wall, but I remember the pillow. But it just came out and it just kept coming. I said to my friend Katie when I was at the hall, like as I was saying bye to her, I was like, it's gonna come later, and she was like, just let it happen. It's gonna happen. And she was right, yeah, I let it happen. And then Sunday I slept most of the day. So the lesson I've learnt is about pacing myself. I need to take more breaks. If you were there, you will have known I was like on the floor like most of the time. Like, it doesn't take away from the experience that like I get at the show. Like, I love the show so much. That's probably why I push myself so much. But I just want to apologise for anyone who came up to me at the end of the talk, just in case you thought like, oh, he's being a bit like rude. No, I wasn't. I was like on verge of meltdown, about to explode. I must admit, do kind of feel quite smug. Like, even in that situation, I could still do a decent talk. Apparently that was the largest audience that they'd had for a 3:30 slot, so it can't have done too bad. And I'm down by quite a lot of business cards too, so I've made videos like this before, realising your limits. I still don't. I'm going to continue to keep doing this. It's worth it, yeah. It just wasn't nice to deal with the effects, but I knew they were going to happen. Funnily enough, I've got an update, as you can see, changed t-shirt because hot. My autism show talking slot in Manchester has actually moved to 12 o'clock. But I'm also filling 3:30, possibly with someone else. If you're staying for the whole day, there'll be a nice chilled something at the end of the day to kind of close it all off. So, ooh, exciting. But my main talk now is at 12 o'clock. Cool. Look forward to the Birmingham Autism Show vlog, maybe tomorrow or the next day, we'll see when it comes. Thank you very much for watching. Bye!